Hey everyone, number 47 on my list of 100 greatest songs of all time is Martha by Tom Waits. Tha. And so I'm not saying it in a Dublin ta. Um, so it's a song about, you know, first love and how an older person might reminisce about what might have been, as opposed to, seeing why it wasn't. And that comes with years and maybe broken hearts and maybe recent broken heart and projecting someone to be more amazing than they were, like an unflawed character, because it's separated by 40 years. Tom Waits wrote the song when he was 24, which again is kind of an incredible thing for a young person to see. And it's about a late night phone call by a man called Tom Frost, who calls his love of 40 years previous, and they talk about how like they discarded it, and the passage of time. And Marta on the other end talks about, hold on, something's going mad on my thing. Marta talks back to him about I suppose I'll read the lyrics in a bit because they're amazing, but I suppose she talks a bit about rose tinted glasses and how, the day she talks about those were days of roses, poetry and prose. He was in his time, could be a romantic, exceptionally romantic person, and someone that, at the time they might have seen as, a life partner. And they talk about like acceptance, how it was never meant to be in the end. And I just want to get the lyrics because to me they're incredible well, they're incredible anyway. But I always think about a 24-year-old writing these lyrics, and there's a bravery to it, obviously, because then people go, "What would you know about love?" But then Tom Waits seems like he's always seemed 60. He's never seemed like a young man. It's hard to think of him as a young man. So the lyrics are, operator, number please, it's been so many years. Will she remember my old voice while I fight the tears? Hello, hello there, is this Marta? This is old Tom Frost. I'm calling long distance, don't worry about the cost. Cause it's been 40 years or more now, Martha, please recall. Meet me out for coffee, we'll talk about it all. And those were days of roses, of poetry and prose. And hey Marta, all I had was you, and all you had was me. And there was no tomorrows, we packed away our sorrows, and we saved them for rainy days. I feel so much older now, and you're much older too. How's the husband and how's the kids? You know that I got married too. Luckily that you found someone to make you feel secure. We were all so young and foolish, but now we are mature. And then the chorus comes in again. And then the following verse. I was always so impulsive, and I guessed that I still am. But all that really matters then was that I was a man. I guess that our being together was never meant to be. But Marta, Marta, I love you, can't you see? And those were days of roses, of poetry and prose. And Marta, all I had was you, and all you had was me. And there were no tomorrows, we packed away our sorrows, and we saved them for rainy days. And the last two lines are, and I remember quiet evenings trembling close to you. I mean, that's mad. Those lyrics are incredible. And you can see, yes, look, I'm not a 65-year-old man, but you can see that happening, that idealization of someone else, of a first love, and remembering those glory days, and kind of wondering, and we've probably all done this at some point, but kind of wondering like, oh, why didn't that work out? And forgetting or omitting the part why it didn't work out. It's very easy to remember that with the old rose tinted glasses idea that, God, this is that was amazing. Why didn't that work out? And there's obvious reasons it wasn't. And like it's not written in. It's like, I think it's like in a different key than this, but it's. This is my favorite bit. poetry, and you can't imitate his voice. You just can't do it. It's always been old, his voice. It's just this different, and I don't know how he does it. It's such an unusual. He had such an unusual way of singing, and everything on that song is like perfection to the idea of what Tom York was and still is. And it's on his first album. I think it's on Closing Time is the album. Is that his first album? I'm not quite sure, but like Tom Waits' heads out there will know it. But he's like, you can just see it in a kind of a quiet, jazzy kind of bar, and it's slightly dilapidated and slightly worn down, but you only see that when the lights are on, so they don't turn the lights on. And you've got Tom York, I said that twice now, Tom Waits, like huddled over his piano in this old man pose, as he does, and playing this song, but like to absolute stunned silence, it's like a hymn almost. If you could change a couple of the lyrics, you could hear it in a church being played, and you could hear it with that chorus having more of an anthemic kind of choir sound to it. I always hear this the kind of, I don't always, but in my head I can hear that or see that in different places. And like when a song is like that, when it can hold your interest or make you imagine where else it could be or where we could play it and how could we not improve it, because you can't improve it, but you can change it or do something different with it. And you could do so much with this song. And I know it is one of his better known songs, and but it's not one that I suppose people know Tom Waits, or they'd know him for a couple of other songs. But for me, this has always been, since I was introduced to it, and I'm not a huge, I'll have to admit right at the end of the video too, not being someone who knows a lot about Tom Waits. I like a couple of stuff. I heard a lot of stuff from films, as I usually do from some, like with artists, but Martha's always been the one that stood out. So yeah, if you haven't listened to it, and you might not have, it's not one of the more better known on the list, give it a listen. So yeah, number 40, what is it? 47, Martha. Cheers.